because we spend so much time talking about atmospheric pollutants that are in the air all around us outside, we tend to get the idea that the air outside is dirty and polluted and we shouldn't be breathing it. And it makes us want to kind of shut ourselves in our houses where we feel like the air might be cleaner. But I don't want to give that impression because it's actually not true. So outdoor air quality in a vast majority of the world is still better than indoor air quality. And we'll talk about the reasons why. So make sure you still go outside and breathe in natural air and open your windows and let the air come inside and that you're not just staying inside. So we will talk about common air quality issues, indoor air quality issues for the United States and other developed nations separately from the rest of the world and kind of global developing nations because the issues are different depending on where you live. So in the United States and other developed nations, our houses tend to be well insulated. They seal pretty well. We don't have a lot of air coming in and out. And so the issues we have are kind of associated with the fact that they are sealed up so well. So the main cause for, if you're a non-smoker, the main cause for lung cancer in the United States is actually radon. Radon is a radioactive gas. It forms in soils and then it comes up out of the soil and it can enter your home through cracks either in your basement or your foundation. If you live in a home with a basement, then you are at a higher risk of having radon into your house, and that's simply because your house is down in the soil where the radon is coming from. But both, you can have radon enter from either the foundation or the basement. So it's something you need if you live in, whenever you buy a home or even if you're renting long term, you should do a radon test. And there are ways that you can vent your home so that the radon won't build up and it won't be dangerous. Of course, we all know that cigarettes smoke is not healthy. It is the leading cause of lung cancer for the smoker. So this is considered to be a choice, right? So you choose whether or not you expose yourself to this air contaminant. So in addition to cigarette smoke being the leading cause of lung cancer for the smoker, it is also the third leading cause of lung cancer in the United States for people who are breathing in secondhand smoke. So that's the other people who live in a home with the smoker who are just breathing it in as a result. Children are especially at risk for health issues because of secondhand smoke, and that includes higher rates of asthma, pneumonia, bronchitis, and even ear infections, and sudden infant death syndrome. So some of the other issues we have in the United States and other developed nations where our houses seal up very well, we have issues. Carbon monoxide and nitrogen oxides can build up from improperly vented fuel burning appliances. So that would be something like a space heater, a generator, a fireplace, or a wood or gas stove. Also, a lot of the things in our house give off VOCs or volatile organic compounds. So whenever you paint your house or some of the cleaners we use, pesticides we might spray to keep bugs down, and even our carpet and new furnishings give off VOCs, and that goes into the air and affects air quality. And then finally, many of us have pets at home, and pets give off dander that can trigger asthma. Molds can build up in our house whenever there's moisture in a house. The molds can grow and those can get into the air and those trigger asthma. And then of course dust mites are an issue for people who are allergic to them. That can trigger their asthma. So in developing nations we do have slightly different issues, and the issues in developing nations arise from how people cook food and warm their homes. 3 billion people in the world, so a little less than half of the population of the world, relies on burning wood, coal, or even dried animal dung or crop residues in these open pits or stoves, and that's the way they heat their home, but also the way they cook their food. So of these 3 billion people, they're all putting themselves at risk, and of course they have to do this to warm their homes and cook their food, but it does cause um, unhealthy indoor air conditions because it's not ventilated well, and then they're building up soot, and kerosene that's not burning is still giving off fumes, and other chemicals come off of those fires and are off gassing into the living quarters. For children under 5, this is the leading cause of deaths from pneumonia in developing nations. Also, about 25% or a quarter of all adults who die from pneumonia or COPD in developing nations, it's because of their exposure to the combustion products as they burn things over the stoves. Also, this causes cancer, cataracts, heart disease, and many other issues. So it's a problem, and better housing and better ways to heat and vent these houses is an issue in developing nations.